Hey, what's up, YouTube? Major G. And I feel like I've been issued a challenge. I haven't actually been issued one, but this person, the way this person words this video makes it feel like a challenge. So, to explain. I was going through YouTube looking for a different video. I was going to watch the Weekly Wednesday What's Up. And I scroll down and I find this video that someone is posting called 5 Forgotten Nickelodeon Sitcoms No One Ever Remembers. I was a huge fan of Nickelodeon back in the day. In fact, some of my favorite Nickelodeon shows are You Can't Do That on Television and Finders Keepers. Both of You Can't Do That on Television is slightly more remembered, but it's very difficult to find anyone that remembers Finders Keepers, which was the best game show Nickelodeon ever had. Hands down, no question about it. The best, absolutely. And so that's a Photoshop. So, and this video is by Stuff with Stop Fly. Not Scott. Stuff with Scout Fly. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and watch this video. And turn my volume on the Alright, here we go.
It's literally 2:16 in the morning. What can I say? Let Dean Ambrose keep the belt, though. Definitely. I literally don't know why I do these things, but what's going on, guys? I'm back again and I'm bringing you guys a new video. In this video, we're going to be talking about 5 Nickelodeon sitcoms that are forgotten. Just like the beard. I mean, it looks alright, right? I mean, why not? So, without further ado, let's get into this one with number 5. Okay, so number 5 is a show that I remember watching back in the day, and I was a huge fan of this show, and that's Unfabulous. And I really enjoyed Unfabulous because I feel like it brought something to the table that not too many Nickelodeon shows did.
I remember that show, but I never watched it. At the time,
we have shows like Drake and Josh and Ned's Declassified really doing well. 2 great shows, but I really enjoyed Unfabulous because I feel like I said, it brings an unexpected element to the table, and that is the element of not really being that popular. And I really hilariously and sadly enough connected with this show. This show is just for those people that aren't really the most popular people in school. The kids in school that honestly probably sat alone at lunch, like myself. Literally because I do things like this. I don't know why. And Unfabulous is a show for those people that are a little bit more introverted, like myself, and I really clung to this show and really enjoyed it. It's pretty sad that back in the day this show was really overshadowed by bigger shows at the time because I wish more people watched this one because I feel like a lot of people would enjoy this show. Like I said, it brings something unexpected to the table, and it was one of those Nick shows that really took a risk, and we don't really get that too often. Unless we're talking about how Nickelodeon just comes up with these random sitcom ideas, throws them at the wall and sees what sticks. But Unfabulous was one of those shows that was kind of in that situation, and it stuck with me personally, but I guess for a lot of people it didn't, and that's why it never really got canceled and ended, which is pretty sad.
Yeah,
so if you enjoy the show, definitely get out there and talk about it, because that's what I really wish I did with Unfabulous, because it's forgotten and no one remembers it, and that's why it's on this list at number 5. Speaking of shows that are really forgotten and nowhere is good, at number 4 we have the Naked Brothers Band. I literally cannot say the name of this show without laughing, because what kind of name is that?
Yeah, I remember.
It's almost as ridiculous as this mustache.
Thinking about that every time I saw that name.
Nothing is as ridiculous as this, I get it, but the Naked Brothers Band is a show that I'm going to throw into a very specific category that Nickelodeon just loves to create. And I'm going to throw this show into the category of false hype. It's a very interesting category that Nickelodeon just loves to overdo. And by false hype, I mean this show had no one excited for it, but Nickelodeon was excited for it, so should we be excited?
Yeah.
No, we shouldn't. It's bad. Nickelodeon
was
loves to do this.
I
They
never actually
always
saw
do
it.
this with shows that I feel like they think aren't going to do the best. And the Naked Brothers Band is a show that really didn't do the best. They didn't sell tickets on their shows. Their songs really didn't do that well.
I
on
was
the internet,
wondering about
and no
if they
one,
were
like I said,
actually
really
like
watched
a
their
group.
show. The only positive I can think of that really came from the show are their hilariously ridiculous songs being put on Rock Band. And I'm still waiting, Harmonix. Get them licensed for Rock Band 4. I need them in my game. But other than that, the music and this show are extremely forgotten. I really can't remember the last time I've heard anyone talk about the Naked Brothers Band. Can you? Speaking of shows that no one really remembers, let's move on to number 3. Number 3 is the Romeo Show. What is wrong with me? There's literally an exclamation point. What do you guys want me to do? How did you not see that coming? Oh man, I'm just full of it right now. The Romeo Show follows the life and times of Romeo Miller, son of Master P, hip-hop extravagant extraordinaire. Nah, dude, he was pretty big in the hip-hop game, I'm not gonna lie, but this show was not big in the Nickelodeon sitcom game. It was pretty bad.
I don't think I remember that
rated, I'm going to say, because you know what? I actually enjoyed the Romeo Show. I actually found some weird satisfaction in watching these extremely just off-putting characters. And by off-putting, I mean that these characters just didn't seem realistic. Like, they just didn't at all whatsoever. And I know this is a show that covers the life and times of a celebrity, a kid that's in the spotlight, but I feel like this show just did it in a really weird way. He's being stalked by paparazzi outside of his school. He's super famous. He's super popular. Look at him. Everyone's watching him. I don't know, man. This show is just so weird. I feel like it has this extremely awkward vibe to it, where the actors just seem like they don't want to be there, but for some reason they are. Like, they're supposed to be super famous and popular, so you think they'd want to be in the spotlight, but they just don't want to be? Maybe this was something the actors were trying to portray. I mean, I don't think so. Like, why would they want to do that? The show just does really weird things. Like, every time Romeo's little brother is on camera, he's just wearing Heelys. Like, this show was out in a time in which Heelys were cool, so this show was cool. But were Heelys ever cool? I don't think so. I just noticed that every time I talk about the show with one of my friends, I'm like, dude, every time this little kid is on screen, he's wearing a pair of Heelys. Does he love Heelys? Was this show sponsored by Heelys? Did Romeo have a song about Heelys? It seems like it, because they're in every shot where he is as well. It's just like, what? Oh man, I don't know. But I'm probably just going crazy because I seem to be the only person that remembers that about this show. But then again, I only talked to one person about this show because no one else seems to remember it, and that's why it's number 3 on this top 5 list. Okay, so jumping into the bottom 2 of this list, at number 2 we have Cousin Skeeter.
What?
Skeeter's the one for me.
Are you kidding me? Cousin
Skeeter? That
Skeeter?
I absolutely
Cousin
adore.
Skeeter was
I love
awesome.
the show just because of how different it is and how interesting it is and the differences that it brings to the table. Cousin Skeeter was a really interesting show, and I say it's interesting because it does a lot of things that a lot of shows have never really tried to do. The main character of the show is a puppet. I've never really seen that before other than like Sesame Street or The Muppets, but Nickelodeon has never really done anything like this before, and it was honestly pretty satisfying to watch, and it was really well done. It was actually pretty hilariously, I guess you could say, marionetted? Marinated? Marie Antoinette? Whatever you'd like to call it. The dude that was controlling my main man, Skeet, knew what he was doing with them strings, if I do say so myself. And there was something about the show that just really hit me.
That was a
great show. It was funny. It was weird. It was a great show to watch if you just really had nothing else to watch. And it wasn't one of those shows that I would really seek out to watch.
I would be bad if he doesn't. If my brother would be at number 1. Hopefully that's like just in that era for him.
The only negative thing I can think about this. I can't even say this, just get ready for it. The only negative thing I can really think of about Cousin Skeeter is that the show really didn't last long, and I wish Skeeter lasted a little bit longer, and then... But no, for real, Cousin Skeeter is a show that I really wish just lasted longer. It's a great show. The main character is a puppet. It's really creative. He gets into a lot of interesting situations, and I just wish a lot more people knew about this show because maybe
I thought Cousin Skeeter was huge.
This show is never going to come back. It's forgotten. No one remembers it except the people that watched it, and that's why it's number 2 on this 5 list. Alright guys, let's talk about this one. Number 1 is a show that no one, I literally mean no one, I feel like no one on planet Earth knows about this show.
It's gotta be my brother.
When this show was airing,
nobody knows about my brother.
Asleep, and I was the only one awake, and of course I'm talking about none other than Just Jordan. Does Just Jordan remember the show? Just Justin? Probably. Just Jordan is a show that stars Lil JJ, and he was actually a pretty big up-and-coming kid comedian at the time, and he's actually pretty funny. I've seen some of his stuff, and I've seen Just Jordan, and this is a show
I've never
that I
heard
feel
of
like
that.
deserved more attention, and it's a show that unfortunately got cut pretty short due to a writing strike at Nickelodeon at the time. Just Jordan is a show that I feel like deserved a little bit more attention than it got because, well, it only was on TV for about a year and a half. No one really remembers this one, and it's extremely hard to find clips of this online. I remember watching it years and years ago when it originally aired, and I was like, you know what, this show isn't too bad. And now doing this video, I've watched episodes of all the shows on this list fairly recently, and I was like, you know what, I want to watch a few episodes of Just Jordan, and to my hilarious, I guess you could say,
heard of that.
I don't know,
I'll give him that
surprise.
one.
I'm not really surprised, but I couldn't find any episodes of this thing online, and it's not really that funny because it's kind of sad, honestly. Just Jordan came out, and it was a show that had so many aspirations, so many things that it wanted to do, but it just couldn't do them. Comedy. What is wrong with me right now? I literally don't know. Dude, it's literally like 3 in the morning. I always thought that Just Jordan was like a weird spin-off show because Nickelodeon loves to do that. They love to oversaturate the spin-off market and just come on and have the same actors do literally everything until they run them into the ground, or they actually separate from the channel and become bigger than any show that has ever aired on the channel besides SpongeBob and Fairly Odd Parents. Ariana Grande. Like, I really don't know why Nickelodeon loves to do this. Maybe the actors that they have are pretty cheap or whatever, so they like to just reuse them other than getting other talent, and people are just like, oh, I know that actor, so I'm gonna watch that show, because they have characters that are literally in like 3 or 4 different shows on the same network playing different characters, and they like to think that all of the characters in each show are the same character. But they have different names. Dan Schneider, telling me, Drake and Josh, and then Drake and Josh characters going to iCarly, and then iCarly characters going to Sam and Cat, and Sam and Cat has characters from Victorious, and Victorious has characters from Zoe 101. Like, this is a literal circle we're going in. But going back to the main point of this video, Just Jordan is a show that I feel like no one remembers whatsoever. It's a show that just kind of existed. It was super ephemeral, and a lot of people missed it. Literally everyone, probably except me. But did you miss Just Jordan, or do you miss Just Jordan?
I'll give him credit for that.
Is it your favorite show of all time? Leave me a comment in the comment section down below and let me know. This is literally the funnest I've ever had recording a video, and I hope you had fun watching it. This is what I want to bring to the channel. Fun, just some randomness, and just honestly kind of having a conversation in a fun way. I don't want to sit here and be so static like I was in some of my past videos. Like, what is that? Like, dude, stop being so boring. And if you enjoyed this video and you had fun watching it with me, leave this video a like. I really appreciate it. All of the videos that have been uploading over these past, I think, maybe 4 or 5 weeks have been breaking 300 likes, which is absolutely insane, and I thank every single one of you that shows the support. And if this is the first video you've ever seen here on my YouTube channel, click that subscribe button to be notified whenever I upload a new video. I upload every Tuesday and sometimes on the weekends now to kind of give you guys a bonus video, talk about something in a little bit shorter of a video. And yeah, so definitely stay tuned on the channel for videos to come. Check out those playlists in the description down below if you're not caught up, and I'll see you guys this Tuesday. Bye, guys! Literally give me something other than a Pidgey or a Rattata.
Not bad. Not bad. That was actually a pretty decent list. The only one I feel like I would disagree with is Cousin Skeeter, though. I'm pretty sure Cousin Skeeter was actually pretty big, even though, I don't know, maybe, I never actually talked to anybody about it, so maybe that's why I feel like it was. But Cousin Skeeter, from what I saw, it was actually really funny. That was the show where it had Cousin Skeeter. Cousin Skeeter was the puppet, and it had Robert Richard, who was also on he's a black kid that looks basically like Neil McDonough. Like, he looks like a young black clone of Neil McDonough. But he's also been in Disney's Alley Cat Strike and One-on-One. That One-on-One was a UPN show with Kyra Pratt. And it was Skeeter, Robert Richard, and I want to say it was Megan Good. I think it was Megan Good was also on the show. So this was, that was some time ago, because she's like my age, or almost my age. And they were like teens at that time. Yeah, I remember Cousin Skeeter. It was a really goofy show. But I'm definitely surprised that he didn't have I shouldn't be definitely surprised, because my generation of Nickelodeon is like the generation before his, so he's got all these like goofy, all the goofy Disney style sitcoms. Because like after a while, like Nickelodeon started going in kind of like the Disney direction, because they used to show like a bunch of mainly kid stuff. It's always been kid stuff, but it's hard to describe it. But after, basically what happened was like Disney started making all these sitcoms, and I think some of the biggest one, they started making them, but they didn't start blowing up, I think, until Lizzie McGuire. Lizzie McGuire, I think, was the biggest one. And then, like, after that was, I want to say Hannah Montana came just after that. And then, like, as time progressed, they started getting more and more and more goofy. And Nickelodeon, I guess, saw what was going on there, and tried to emulate that kind of success. So they started making a bunch of sitcoms that were that were like Disney style. So didn't the Jonas Brothers have a show on Nickelodeon? Isn't that how they started? I think they did. I think they had a show on Nickelodeon. Or were they on Disney? Maybe they were Disney. And then Naked Brothers Band was the Nickelodeon response to the Jonas Brothers. I feel like, I don't think Naked Brothers Band or Cousin Skeeter should have been on there. But he's definitely right. Nickelodeon hyped the heck out of that Naked Brothers Band show. Like, I remember seeing that thing all the time. Like, they had reruns and stuff going on all the time. But I'd never actually seen an episode of it, because that's not my thing. I'm not like into the whole band thing. But let's see. So my list, if I had a top 5 most forgotten Nickelodeon sitcoms, I'd have to sit down and really think about that. I can't think of anything off the top of my head right now except My Brother and Me. My Brother and Me was an awesome show, but nobody remembers it. Like and that was about this black family, and like there were 2 brothers, and like they had a best friend who was like stereotypical. There was the 2 brothers, the oldest sister. And the oldest sister, like, wanted nothing to do with them. She was all into fashion and stuff. And then you had, like, the brother's best friend, or the older brother's best friend, who was always over all the time. And, like, he hated the sister. But, no, he had a crush on the sister. That's what it was. He had a crush on the sister, but hated her best friend. And, like, he would, like, talk all this trash until, like, the mom was around, and he started flattering her all the time. So, like, that was good. Yeah. My favorite episode, from what I remember, I think my favorite episode is still the Cool Dr. Money episode, where the youngest brother, Didi, decides he's like watching this rap music video, and he wants to get his hair cut just like the rapper, because like back in the day, because this is like early 90s, so like in the early 90s and like in the 80s and stuff, like black people used to get their hair cut with stuff in it, with like you make designs and all that stuff in it. And this dude had like $ signs and stuff because he was Cool Dr. Money. And So the little brother's like, I want to get my hair cut just like Cool Dr. Money. And like the parents are like, are you crazy? No, you're not getting your hair cut like that. You're going to old Joe, our family barber we go to for the past 20 years. So, and so the best friend, Goo, he's like, I'll tell you what, I cut my dog's hair, so for $5, I'll hook you up with that haircut, right? And so he completely jacks up this kid's head. And the kid thinks it's cool. And he like takes it to school. And he got in trouble for it somehow. Because like the older brother was like, and this is so true, like if you have a little sibling, you know. The older brother was like, man, why you do this, man? Because I'm going to get in trouble for this. And he's like, the best friend who's like an only kid, he's like, I don't understand. What are you talking about? How are you going to get in trouble for it? It's like, man, because I'm the older brother. Anytime he does something stupid, I get in trouble for it. So, yeah, that was probably one of my favorite episodes, was the Cool Dr. Money episode. So the little brother Didi ends up getting his head cut bald because the parents find out naturally, and so they end up like just chopping all his hair off. But he's all sulking for the rest of the episode. But yeah, that was a good show, My Brother and Me. Oh man, I can't think of any other sitcoms though. I remember the. Wait, wasn't there a sitcom that took place in high school? No. I do remember Nickelodeon's attempt at like a dramatic teen show, which was called 15, 16? It was something like that. It was a number. It was called like either 15 or 16. And it was supposed to be like Nickelodeon's version of 90210 or something like that. But yeah, Nickelodeon has a bunch of forgotten shows that like nobody well, not a bunch, but they have quite a few shows that nobody remembered. Because most times people think of like the popular Nickelodeon shows, they start bringing out like what was it, like Hey Dude and Salute Your Shorts and Pete and Pete. But they only remember when Pete and Pete was a full 30-minute show. I remember when it was just shorts. Like, because Pete actually originally used to be just shorts, like 30-second shorts between shows or whatever. So, yeah. But anyway, going on too long once again. So, what do you guys think of his list? What are some of your thoughts? What do you think that are some of Nickelodeon's most forgotten shows of all time? Most forgotten sitcoms, most forgotten sitcoms of all times. I would probably replace, personally, I would replace either Cousin Skeeter or Naked Brothers Band with My Brother and Me, because that was absolutely a forgotten show. Like, nobody knows about My Brother and Me. But, yeah. So if you like what you saw, like, comment, subscribe. Check out this dude's other videos. He has a bunch of other stuff on Nickelodeon, it looks like. A new Rugrats reboot. There's another Rugrat show that's going to come on. Huh. Alan Strange. Holy crap. I wonder if anybody remembers Alan Strange. It had the dude with the black kid with the big head. That dude's head was big. Alright. But anyway, yeah. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe. Definitely comment. Share to all your friends. Watch this dude's videos. This is Stuff with Scout Fly. And until next time, I will see you guys later.